Welcome. I'm Gayathri and I'm passionate about transformative coaching in the realm of life and leadership. My journey towards coaching started with an educational background in psychology and over 20 years of corporate leadership. Today, my commitment to help unlock limitless possibilities within each individual has culminated in the creation of my organization, Realize to Win. As a certified master coach, my philosophy centers around the power of the human mind and its boundless capacity for growth and achievement. My approach is rooted in the belief that with the right mindset, training, and guidance, there's truly no limits to what you can accomplish. My work is just not about reaching goals. It is truly about redefining the very boundaries of potential. Join me every week on my podcast, Catalyze Your Self, where we can dive into mindsets, experiences, and practical steps that will ignite your transformation towards limitless possibilities. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Catalyze Yourself. And here, together, we will dive into strategies, mindsets, and practical ways that turn the challenges of today into the triumphs of tomorrow. I'm your host, Gayathri, and we are about to explore a powerful theme right now. Setbacks sharpen your edge to win. Let us take this time to look at how our ability to sustain our wins are determined by how and what we do with the setbacks that come our way. Social norms tend to glamorize wins. Social norms tend to degrade failures. Social norms tend to soften the value that failure gives by celebrating participation. Social norms tend to give dignity to those who win and deny it when there's a fall or a setback. In this case, social norms have the opportunity to change and grow for sure. Social norms change when each of us recognize there's a different way to support our growth to become our best selves. And the more of us that move and believe this way, social norms now adapt to us. If we truly listen to those who are celebrated winners, it becomes very clear how much they recognize that it is their setbacks that resulted in those wins. In the land of athletes, we have Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Misty Copeland, who have all spoken about the importance of overcoming losses and setbacks as integral to their eventual success, highlighting the universal importance of resilience and determination. We have business leaders like Richard Branson, Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn, Ariana Huffington, and you have Colonel Harlan Sanders, who never gave up his recipe, even though thousands of franchise owners rejected it. And the setbacks he faced never stopped him. And today, because of that, we have Kentucky Fried Chicken. A win without setbacks behind it does not give you that well rounded development and sustained success you are seeking. If all you have done is win, you have shielded yourself from maximizing your growth. A winner at all times misses out on so many experiences that build resilience. You see a complacent person with a lack of humility and grit, chances are this is someone who has not recognized or maximized the benefits that setbacks bring them. And I say yet, because every single one of us is capable of realizing what is best for us at any time and decide to make that change. To give you a little bit of insight into me, math was never a strong spot for me. But you know what intrigued me and held my attention even as a child? Physics. Physics just made sense to me in understanding how the world works. And as I was thinking about this session today and what points I were going to highlight, I was imagining how for an arrow to shoot, the bow twine has to go back to create the right amount of tension. I was imagining how, from the principles of physics standpoint, it is the setback that creates that tension and momentum needed to propel that arrow farther forward. So, the way energy works in itself with the concepts of physics can metaphorically allow us and show us the dynamics between setbacks and success. So, bear with me for a moment. The law of motion says, the one that Newton gave us, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now, this could be why, when someone is at the top of their game, the pressure to stay there is immense. We've heard it from top athletes all the time, people who are in the top of their game all the time. The pressure to bring them back down is immense. There's almost a pull on them to bring them back down. And when people achieve success, you see others coming out of the woodwork trying to figure out how to pull them back down. In the same token, this law can metaphorically illustrate how the force, which is our effort that we put in into overcoming our setbacks, can create an equal force in pushing us towards success. So the struggles and actions faced can lead to significant advancements, which is the reaction in your personal growth and achievement. And it should not be lost on us that Newton had many, many, many setbacks before he had his win. And the example I used before of the arrow in physics, there's a concept that applies in potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is where there's a stored energy that's getting built up. So it would be the tension being built in the bow, or it could be a spring that is getting compressed before release. Kinetic energy is the energy of motion or movement. And kinetic energy goes farther when it is fueled by that potential energy. So setbacks can be seen as those periods where the potential energy is getting built up. When a setback is overcome, the potential energy can convert to kinetic energy and propel forward the motion or the movement or the action towards the goals. Very similar to when a spring is compressed and you're releasing its energy and it pushes out to whatever it's intended to push out. I will say one more point on physics before I move on, which is the law of conservation of energy. The law says energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to the other. So, what this would mean, any energy you put into setbacks will be transformed. If we look at this law metaphorically for life, and real life examples of successful people who have shown sustained wins tell us that energy that you put into setbacks get transformed into wisdom, experience, motivation, and contributes to future successes. Okay, moving on from physics, another type of energy that impacts how we deal with setbacks comes from our emotions. Experiencing a range of outcomes, including losses, can help develop our emotional depth, our ability to emotionally regulate, and empathy within us. Understanding what it feels like to struggle or fail can enhance our ability to connect with and support others in their time of need. It is important that we recognize it when it occurs. With this recognition, we can then decide to make the changes and take the necessary steps so we can go towards and grow towards ensuring every setback is a step towards winning. Emotional responses to setbacks can wildly differ depending on who you are and the nature of the setback and the context within it's occurring. It could be frustration where there's a gap between your expectation and what ends up happening, and especially if that setback is something that was avoidable. Another typical emotion that can impact motivation is disappointment. And this is an emotion that is, if it is being given to you by others that you value, it can have a bigger impact in so many cases. The uncertainty introduced by setbacks can cause anxiety, especially if you start worrying about your ability to meet future challenges or fear additional failures. You could simply feel sad, particularly in significant setbacks, such as losing a job or experiencing a project failure. Feelings of sadness or grief can arise as one processes the loss of what was expected or hoped for. And then there are some who react to setbacks with anger, either directly outwardly towards others or who may be perceived as responsible or inwardly as self criticism. Another common response is feeling unable to influence or change the situation, a sense of helplessness, particularly if there have been repeated setbacks. And finally, embarrassment or shame, especially if the setback is visible to others or it involves public failure. Individuals may feel embarrassed or ashamed. Understanding and managing these emotional responses is so crucial for recovery and progression out of these experienced setbacks towards your win. Effective strategies could include emotional regulation, such as mindfulness, cognitive reframing or reappraisal, as well as seeking support from others. I have gone into this in depth in a prior episode of mine, episode 22, Master Your Emotional Regulation. If you have not already, I would urge you to please tune into that one when you get the chance. And I'm sure you will find really good takeaways that can help you with any one of these disruptive emotions that I listed for you that can impact your ability to overcome your setbacks effectively and keep moving you towards your path to your win. Fact is, if growth and sustained success is your ultimate goal, intermittent setbacks can provide a significant edge over a path of unbroken successes. Why is that? How is that? What I have learned in my life personally, what I've learned from others who have inspired me to understand this concept better, and what I've learned from working with my clients, let me share with you. What I have learned. Setbacks bring you deeper learning and insights. It forces us to analyze what went wrong and why. This introspection and analysis leads to a deeper understanding of both the task and our own ability or limitations. This kind of learning is so much more profound and lasting because it's experiential learning. There's so many studies that tell you experiential learning is gives you the best retention, and that's gained through uninterrupted success. And when you have uninterrupted success, important lessons are overlooked. Setbacks build your resilience and grit. Each setback you encounter and you deal with strengthens your ability to cope with future stress and challenges. It is a training ground for your body, mind, and spirit to get better at navigating setbacks. The grit and resilience is crucial for long term success and stability, and it prepares you to handle the inevitable difficulties that arise from any given scenario. Setbacks make you creative. You become innovative. In contrast, a straight path win might not provide that same motivation to explore alternative methods and to be open to the possibilities that are falling way outside the box. Every setback is a test. It is a test of your commitment. It's a test of your determination. It's a test of your passion. How you respond to your setback validates it all. It reveals how committed and passionate you truly are about your goals. Those who persevere through difficulties demonstrate a deep level of commitment and determination, and they are key drivers for sustained success. And setbacks keep you humble. Continuous winning can lead to overconfidence, where you might underestimate future challenges or you fail to prepare adequately. With humility, you will know, and you will know your preparation is what is going to ensure you're ready for any setback that comes your way. And setbacks help you grow. Your brain is getting healthier because you're utilizing it to overcome your setback. Your emotions are getting healthier because you're regulating it and balancing it to overcome your setback. Your mind is getting stronger because you're reinforcing your strong and healthy mindsets to overcome your setbacks. So, long story short, setbacks make you better, stronger, and more sustained winner. Reframe any existing negative or disruptive connotations you've been holding on to for setbacks. Reframe it to ensure that it is seen as a necessary path to success and one that will give you that competitive edge you need to achieve every single one of your wins. So, we touched on how we become stronger mentally and emotionally as we go through setbacks. What is also important for us to ensure is that we develop and adapt the mindsets, emotions, and beliefs that will help us overcome no matter what setback comes our way. Let me touch this very high level so we have a reminder. It is also not all inclusive. You may have some strengths that aids you that you should absolutely keep in mind. But what I'm about to give you is a good start. And let's start with mindsets, my favorite topic that helps us overcome setbacks: growth, resilience, courage, optimistic, problem solving, accountability, adaptive, curiosity, persistence, gratitude, and grace. These mindsets are so helpful in ensuring that you overcome any setback you face. And let's move on to emotions. What we find is that those who successfully use setbacks as opportunities for growth and achievement often exhibit certain emotional strengths that enable them to kind of navigate these challenges effectively. Some of those predominant emotions are confidence, bravery, calmness, hope, determination, and compassion. Those who effectively use setbacks also typically show strong self belief in their abilities to overcome what they need to at all times. They also believe passionately in their purpose. With these mindsets, strong emotions, and beliefs, you have given yourself a stronger foundation. Now, how can you practically ensure your approach to setbacks is most effective? What we need to keep in mind here is that approaching setbacks effectively requires an understanding of their root causes. So, what are their origins? And that will give you different, distinct approaches for overcoming them. And how you approach them, for example, could differ based on if it comes out of an obstacle, if it comes out of a personal mistake, a poor decision making, or even that unforeseen circumstances. So let me go over each and give you perspectives on how you could approach them. Let's start with a setback as a result of an obstacle. In essence, while all setbacks might involve obstacles, not all obstacles result in setbacks. Obstacles are challenges that need overcoming, often without loss of progression, whereas setbacks imply a reversal of loss that must be recovered from. The first step when it comes to an obstacle is to understand its nature. So that is what's going to help you develop specific strategies to overcome it. This might involve you looking for alternative resources, acquiring new skills, adjusting timelines. Sometimes overcoming an obstacle simply requires you to get more expertise or resources that you may not possess. Seeking help from mentors, colleagues, industry experts may be what you need to go do to get those insights and solutions. Okay, let's move to setbacks that happen as a result of a personal mistake, a mistake that you made. Take the time to reflect on the mistake. What went wrong? How can it be prevented in the future? This reflection is crucial for personal growth and avoiding similar mistakes again. If the mistake affected others, it is important to take accountability, responsibility, apologize, and make amends if possible. And this can help repair trust and maintain the strength of those relationships. Transparency, vulnerability, and integrity become very key here. Okay, let's move to setbacks that's happened due to poor decision making. Examine how the decision was made. Were there flaws in the process? Was it rushed? Understanding these aspects can help you refine your decision making strategies. Often, poor decisions come from insufficient information. Improving how you gather and analyze your information can lead you to better outcomes in the future. And finally, setbacks due to unforeseen circumstances. This is the tricky one. This is what brings out our awareness, the lack of control that we have on most factors external to your own self. We must always keep in mind that wild card that'll come our way, that we will have to mitigate and be okay when it comes our way. Just deal with it. If the contingency plans you already had do not apply, mitigate your plans. Be flexible, adapt. If resources are what you need, figure out how to get those or do without those. To summarize for us, the type of setback you will have to determine the approach that you take with it. However, it will be your foundation of who you are, the mindset, your emotions, and beliefs that will ensure that you approach it in a successful way and it keeps moving you towards your wins. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to think about the setbacks you have encountered in your life. Reflect on how they have shaped you, how they have pushed you to learn, to adapt, to grow. Setbacks are opportunities for learning, to toughen up, for innovation. Embrace them, learn from them, and let them refine your edge. If you're in the midst of a setback right now, I encourage you to lean in. Look for the lessons, build a resilience. You will find that these setbacks are sharpening your edge to win. And if at any point you recognize that a life coach would be a good value for you, please do consider reaching out to me. I will make sure my contact information is available in the podcast description. I hope you found this session valuable, and I would love your feedback regardless. If you're interested in a summary highlight of what I spoke about today, please do send me an email and I will get them to you. I will be including all my socials and email in the podcast description. Thank you for joining me today on Catalyze Yourself. I'm your host, Gayathri, and I hope you feel inspired to turn every setback into a setup for your success. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and know this. Every setback you have is a setup for your comeback as a winner.